I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
Welcome back to the Millennial Classics. My name is Q, and on this show, we talk about the best and most memorable movies, books, and culture changing events from our generation. We are indeed doing Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire today. Yes, this is book 4 in the series. It's super easy to say that the series had me right from the get from book 1, but it's not true. If you guys have been watching our movie reviews and the lackluster book reviews of Harry Potter, I've watched the movies obviously in the past, and then we rewatched it and been doing all of those book reviews, and then I decided to reread the books. You think you get so much of Hogwarts, you think you get so much of the Wizarding World when you watch the movies. You have no idea. And the thickness of this book, J.K. Rowling really went balls to the wall when it came to the Goblet of Fire, and she continued to make them nice and thick as she continued on with the series. I'm going to make these reviews a little bit more succinct. It's Harry Potter. I'm going to spoil everything, but I am going to tell you 4 of the major things that I really liked, and then I want to talk about a couple of the themes. Number 1 is a two-parter, 1A, 1B, but the first thing I want to mention about the Goblet of Fire, it feels like this is the first book in the Harry Potter series that is an action adventure. I think book 1, it's world building. But basically, welcome to Hogwarts, not this Wizarding World. Goblet of Fire is welcome to the Wizarding World. We go to the fucking Quidditch World Cup. We get to meet the other students from other Wizarding schools. It really is an introduction to the world of Wizarding in Goblet of Fire. But back to what I was saying, book 1 is welcome to Hogwarts. Book 2, it's like a mystery, and then at the end there's some action. And then book 3 is Prisoner of Azkaban. Yes, there is a little bit more action. I think the movie does do a whole lot more of the action adventure than the book does. But Goblet of Fire is about the Triwizard Tournament. It is action throughout. It's not this mystery that we're trying to figure out a problem, and then at the end there's a big action set. There's action throughout the entire book, and it is so fun. On top of the fact that the action throughout this book is intertwined with the Wizarding World at large. Okay, so I love the fact that we get to see more of the Wizarding World, and I wanted so much more of that in the movies. I can't wait for the TV series to come out so we can really just dive deep into the Wizarding World. So yeah, it's the Triwizard Tournament, I think, is just the best thing ever, along with the Quidditch World Cup. Just getting to know this world outside of Hogwarts in a much deeper way. This is just one of the quotes that I wanted to mention that I thought just spoke to the Triwizard Tournament by Dumbledore in the beginning of the book when he's introducing the Triwizard Tournament. I love this quote because it's what I'm talking about. It's the expansion of the world, why it's important, and how the expansion of the world doesn't change the focus of the book. Differences of habit and language are nothing at all if our aims are identical and our hearts are open. This is what Dumbledore is saying when he's welcoming the other schools to Hogwarts. I absolutely love that quote. You gotta keep your heart open, and if the people that you are opening your heart to, no matter the language, what they look like, how they act, how they do what they do, if we are aiming for the same thing, if we want the same thing, let's get it done together. That's the main thing. Number 1 is the action adventure and the expansion. And number 2, the thing that I really like is the development of the characters. I think up until Goblet of Fire, Harry, Ron, and Hermione really do feel like kids. And this is when they start to grow up, right? I'm not going to say they're grown up, but you see them starting to grow up with like the most basic growing up things that happen when you are growing up as a kid, right? These are preteens, teenagers at this point. You go to the winter ball and love is in the air. And if it's not love, it's crushes and jealousy and silly teenage romance, but it means the world to them because this is the first time they're going through this, and it's so believable. I felt like in the movies, I was annoyed by how much we were paying attention to that because it seemed silly, but in the books, you are with these characters, you understand them truly deeply. You want the best for them and you want what they want for themselves. And if they're nervous or scared or jealous or whatever, you feel it too. But in the movies, it comes off as silly. But because you just can't spend the time that is necessary to feel those feelings with those characters when you're watching a 2-hour movie versus how long is this book? A 600, 700 page book. You really get to sit with these characters. And I really do like that. The development, when I say about these characters, yes, that's the fun, lovey-dovey, happy-go-lucky stuff. I have seen many reviews of both the movie and the books of Harry Potter, and I'm surprised to see no one talk about the fact that Harry is a cheater. Not just Harry, but everyone in this fucking book is a cheater for Harry. It's an open secret. We're all cheating for Harry. J.K. Rowling doesn't focus on that specific theme or that specific idea as is it okay that Harry's cheating throughout every single one of these tasks? Yeah, maybe the other folks are cheating, but I don't care what the other folks are doing. The main character is Harry Potter. I'm with Harry Potter. I want him to be staying above the bullshit, right? So, like, he knows about the dragons. All the other characters know about the dragon, and he's the one who tells Cedric Diggory about the dragons. I forget the name of the elf, but he helps him with the swimming the gills for the final task in the tournament. Professor Moody just kind of like cake walks him through the entire maze. While I was reading the book, I was like, Harry's been cheating this entire goddamn time. Isn't he supposed to be the noble main character, the honorable Harry Potter? Why is he cheating and why isn't anyone mentioning the fact that he's fucking cheating? I was happy about the adventure, but that is something I do feel is missing from the book. I'm mentioning this as something that I like about the book because I'm interested. If I disagree with the character, with the main character in the book, or the things that are happening throughout the book, but the world makes sense and I'm confused about the world, I want to read more because I want to understand why the decisions in this book are being made. Where is Harry Potter going? Is what Harry Potter doing the right thing? It kept me hooked. Him getting through all of these tasks, him winning the Tri-Wizard tournament, tying with Cedric Diggory at the end. Does he actually deserve it? Should he have won? Should he have even been in it? He got in basically because someone cheated again for him to get into the tournament. There are consequences, but I feel like his consequences are always these lucky breaks that have him win. I don't know if I like that. And I don't see many people talk about that specific aspect when it comes to the Goblet of Fire. Am I crazy for thinking that Harry Potter's a big-ass cheater and he cheated through every single one of the tasks in the tournament? I think Cedric Diggory definitely should have won. They tied, but he deserved to win. And then last but not least, of the things that I really did like about the book is the introduction to all of the key characters from the specific book, from like this book moving forward. Number one, like I said, Cedric Diggory. He's just a fantastic character. Yes, he's introduced and then not introduced, then he's let go. Spoiler, he dies at the end of the book. That does suck, but he's a great fucking character in the book. If the story was about someone else and Harry Potter was in that story, the way we look at Cedric Diggory is how we would look at Harry Potter if the story was about, like, I don't know, someone else in the book, right? Malfoy. If this was a book about Malfoy, Harry Potter would be like the Cedric Diggory character, always doing the right thing. You know, he always has the right spell in a genuinely authentic good way, right? He's not like this knight in shining armor, but he's a kid that works hard and gets what he deserves, and you really respect that. This is coming off me saying that Harry's a cheater, but yes, of course, I think Harry's a good person, but I do love Cedric Diggory. Victor Crumb, he's just a fucking Quidditch World Cup champion. If you don't like Quidditch, then I don't know what you're doing with the Wizarding World, but it's the best part of the Wizarding World, and Victor Crumb is the fucking MVP of Quidditch. Delacour, I always mess up her name, but I think she's fun. She's much bigger deal throughout and further books. She becomes part of the family, and that's lovely. But the only person that matters in this book is Mad-Eye Moody. Probably the best Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, bar none, and it's not even fucking close. I need some help understanding this aspect of the book as well. Because we do know, again, spoiler alert, that it's not Mad-Eye Moody, it's Barty Crouch Jr. that is, what is it called? The potion that makes him look like Mad-Eye Moody, and he's doing that throughout the entire book. I love Mad-Eye Moody as the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. I love Barty Crouch Jr. as Mad-Eye Moody. We do get more of Moody throughout the books, but we don't get to spend this much time with him. I've never had more fun in Defense Against the Dark Arts outside of Mad-Eye Moody teaching it. And it's like, is that really Mad-Eye, or is it Barty Crouch Jr.? Do I like Barty Crouch Jr. as a Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher? Would Mad-Eye Moody be that good of a teacher? I don't know. We never know. We never get to spend any more time or this amount of time, this in-depth of time with Mad-Eye throughout the rest of the books. And am I to believe that Barty Crouch is that good of an imitator where he would imitate all of the things he would possibly do? Mad-Eye turning Malfoy into, I think it was a rat or a weasel or whatever the fuck, was fantastic. I don't know if Mad Eye would have done the forbidden curses in Defense Against the Dark Arts, but I love the fact that he did, that Barty Crouch did throughout this book. So I don't know if I love Mad Eye or if I love the fact that Barty Crouch was Mad Eye. He was my favorite Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher throughout the entire series, and he's definitely my favorite character in this book. It's not even close. The major themes in this book, but the two that stood out to me, that spoke to me, it's really when we start to really focus on the prejudice versus unity aspect of it, right? And it's obvious because you have all of these different schools coming in. This is not the book where Malfoy uses the mudblood word first, but this is when we find out that Hermione is doing the Save the Elves, like the spew, like her club. She's the OG social justice warrior, and I fucking love it. I love the fact that she's upset that these elves are slaves at Hogwarts, and Dumbledore's like, well, that's the way things are, you know. They like to work at it, and she goes above and beyond to try to rectify this issue. Yes, the house elves actually want to continue to do that. That's what they want to do, and so be it. But I love the effort. I love the honest upsetness. I like how upset it makes Hermione finding out about that. But then also we have to talk about the fact that we are dealing with all of these different schools. The whole point is to find out which of the schools is going to win this tournament. Throughout the book, Harry has to do things to help the other students, right? He ends up actually saving Victor Crumb because Barty Crouch Jr. kills his dad down, you know. He ends up saving Fleur Delacour's sister when they have to go under the water. When they speak of prejudice throughout the Harry Potter series, it's this book, and then obviously at Deathly Hallows when Voldemort's like, fuck them mudbloods, it's the pure bloods only. It's those two books when I think of the prejudice, and I think they do it really well in this book. And then lastly is the theme of friendship and loyalty. It's the Harry Potter series, and it's friendship and loyalty is obviously a big part of every single book, but I mention it here, number one, because Hermione and Ron get into that tit-tat bullshit because of the big ball. I'm happy that happens, but like, that's just teenage bullshit, right? Just have a conversation and all of that would have been figured out. I love the fact that Harry and Ron actually get into a fight. Ron is really upset because he thinks that Harry did some bullshit trick to get him into the Triwizard Tournament. No one knows how he did it, how he was picked, why the Cauldron picked him. And Ron is like, you know I wanted to do this. You know I would have done anything to do this. Why did you go ahead and do it on your own? Harry's like, I didn't fucking do it on my own. And Ron wouldn't believe him because the night before the Cauldron was found out, Harry tells Ron, it would be so cool if we won it. And I was standing up and cheering and everyone was cheering my name and whatever the fuck. Yeah, he was fantasizing about it, but he didn't do it. But if I was Ron, I would think he did it too. And I would be upset too. At this point in the series, Harry Potter just seems like this attention whore. It's like, you've saved us for the last 3 years. Can you just be in the background? Can you not be the center of attention 24/7? And he's the youngest student who's not allowed to do it, but gets picked anyways. And Ron's like, even if you were going to do it, you weren't going to tell me? You should have at least told me. I thought we were best friends. I thought we were in this together. I love the disagreement. I love it because it feels so real. I felt for Ron this entire time throughout the Goblet of Fire. I really did. There's so much more I can talk about. Like I said, this is the thickest. I think it is probably the thickest. I don't know. But it is one of the bigger of the Harry Potter books. I'm going to be doing a whole lot more of these shorter reviews because I just like getting to the point. I want to cut and dissect and just eat and chew on this story so much more. Let's do some of these shorter reviews just for now, and then when I find someone to discuss it with, we'll do those longer discussions. Let me know what you guys think about those two things. Is Harry Potter a cheater? Is he actually a cheater? And number two, do I like Barty Crouch, or is that actually Professor Moody? Who is it? Because it technically is Crouch, right? That's the truth. Until next time, deuces.